Vice Chancellor, we've been able to establish some strategic relationships in different parts of the world. In my school, we had some involvement with the college in a relationship in the Maldives where we were delivering a bachelor award in policing to their police service and other officials like customs, quite successfully. I know that this was some concern and debate at the board level. We've decided not to continue with that work at the moment. Can you give us some insight into why we have not?
Well, I think you're right. The Maldives program, the policing program there, was discussed at the level of the Board of Trustees over a period of about 12 months. And this was because of concerns that were being raised in the media in relation to the political circumstances in the Maldives at the time, questions regarding human rights abuses and other issues around policing, and a real question about what role a university would play in what is a highly contentious context of political uncertainty in that particular region. Of course, this is always a challenge when we deal with international programs. On the one hand, we're trying to ensure the provision of very high quality Australian training and education to support developing countries in our region and to support their public service, in this case the policing and security services and other important public-facing organisations to provide access to the sort of training that you hope would alleviate some of the tensions that have actually arisen in this case in the Maldives. But on the other hand, of course, concern that we're doing so in legitimising perhaps a political process that is under some scrutiny and under some criticism. So naturally the board took an interest in this. The university, for other reasons, decided that it wouldn't continue the Maldives. It wasn't a large-scale program for the university, and we felt we needed to focus our attention elsewhere. So I don't think the two things are necessarily related. I think we ran the program to the end of its natural life, and then we haven't continued with it at this stage. But it did raise some very important issues that have to be addressed when any university, whether it's Western Sydney or any other university, begins to operate in a region that's been through some difficult or in fact in ongoing tumultuous times.
Yes, so transition democracies and many of the places in Asia that we will be developing relationships will have these challenges. I noticed recently we've signed an agreement with the Bangladeshi government too to be involved in training of judges. Is that correct? And
that's right, yeah. This is through the International Centre for Ocean Governance in the School of Law. It's a program that we've been working on for some time now with the Bangladeshi government, with the Division of Law and Justice. And I think this is another very important initiative. This is the first time the Bangladeshi government have actually funded an education training development program for their judiciary using their own resources without access to aid funding from another country. So it's a very strong commitment, many millions of dollars over the next 3 years. And it comes at a time where Bangladesh, Myanmar and India have resolved their maritime border issues. So they've been now resolved through international mediation. This gives an opportunity for Bangladesh to begin to develop its offshore resources in an environmentally sustainable way. But in that context, ocean governance, maritime law, transnational law become very important aspects of what their judges in Bangladesh will need to be both familiar with and expert in relation to. And so they've looked around the world to get a partner to assist in upskilling and retraining their judges. But it's not just touching on those issues. Cybersecurity is a huge issue for Bangladesh. They've had at least one serious incursion, cyber incursion, which caused them serious difficulties over the last couple of years. They need to have legal structures and expertise able to deal with that at the international level. But they also want to upskill their judges to be more familiar with concepts like restorative justice, and to be better equipped to handle some of the criminal justice issues that they're dealing with, about electronic evidence management and efficiency of their courts, because at the moment they're dealing with a significant backlog of cases and a lot of unrest in the population about how long it takes for the judicial system to work effectively. And so from all of those perspectives, this is a very important project for Bangladesh, one that we're very proud to be associated with, and one where I think we have the expertise to make a a significant contribution. And the judges will be trained here in Australia, and they'll have access to the court systems in Australia for them to become familiar with firsthand with the operation of our courts. And we have the great support of a number of judges in the Australian judicial system who will be coming and teaching into the program along with their own experts in the School of Law. So it's a very important project, and I think one that will make a profound difference to Bangladesh in the long term. So I'm very pleased we're part of.
Sounds like great impact, and it's great for our School of Law to be involved with it. Any security concerns or issues? We've been involved with a program like this. Bangladesh has had terror incidents in
It has. It's an ongoing issue in Bangladesh, and even when I was there just a couple of weeks ago, there was an ongoing terrorist incident that was dominating the media in Bangladesh in a city called Sylhet, some distance outside Dhaka. And so, of course, we need to be very focused on DFAT travel advisories and other things for our staff going into Bangladesh. But importantly, the judges and the judicial figures that will be coming to us will be coming to Australia. So, from that context, we'll be undertaking the program here. But there will be a certain amount of travel into Bangladesh, and people just need to be sensible and cautious in that regard and follow the advisories from the Australian government. The High Commissioner, the Australian High Commissioner to Bangladesh visited the university just a week or so ago, and we had some discussions around security issues in Bangladesh. And certainly the Bangladeshi government are very committed to addressing those issues and bringing them under control. But they are a challenge, and we need to be very aware of and focused on them when we're travelling.
And our involvement has the full support of the Australian government?
Yes. The Australian government's very pleased, and the High Commissioner in particular very pleased that Western Sydney University is involved. We weren't the only Australian university that wanted to be involved, so we're very pleased that we won this particular contract with the Bangladeshi government. In the first 3 years, up to about 500 judges will be trained, and there's another 1,000 judges in the second phase. So it's and for the university, I think it's probably our biggest international contract, and one that will give us a great deal of high-profile recognition in South Asia, in particular, in Bangladesh. And so I think from a reputational perspective, very, very important that we do this and we do it well.